It's midday right here in Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome to Lunchtime Politics. We'll bring you up to speed with the big happenings in politics and in the polity right here at midday. Let's get started with the headlines. Nigerian Air Force debunks unauthorized landing in Burkina Faso, says technical concerns force C-130 crew to make precautionary landing as the aircraft was not grounded. (2023) presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, asked federal government to apologize to Ogoni people and the Niger Deltans for exposing them to environmental hazard. Thanks again for joining us on the program. And where we'll begin from is on the cheery part. Of course, the almost 300 children that were kidnapped in Papri in Niger State, we're beginning to see their return. First was 50, another set of 100 have now returned, as they were received by the governor of the state, Umar Bago, at the St. Mary's Catholic School, where they were kidnapped at the St. Mary's Catholic School in Papri, in Agwara local government area of the state, and they've just been rescued. Of course, they have now been returned to the government, who will onward go through all the medicals for them, ensure they go through all the medicals, and then they'll be handed over to their parents. So this was a formal event that showed they are being returned to the government, who will now onward reunite them with their families.
I want to thank Mr. President for giving us all the necessary input to rescue these children. I want to thank the NSA and every other person that has been responsible in the recovery of these children. I want to thank development partners here, the UNICEF and others also. Well, thank you all. And for those that have been praying, continue to pray. We wish to recover the remaining students that are still in captivity, and by the grace of God, in a very short time from now, we are going to record them, inshallah. I want to reassure parents and guardians of these children that will be safely delivered to them very, very soon. We have called on medical health workers to come and look at them, to be checked properly, and before taking them back to the parents. We are working closely with CAN to make sure that they are safely returned back home.
In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu has commended the security agencies for their tireless efforts in securing the freedom of the 100 students. While expressing his joy over the safe return of the students, the president charged the security agencies to ensure the swift release of the remaining 115 students and their teachers who are still in captivity. We can also tell you that the Nigerian Air Force has debunked claims of arrest and grounding of its aircraft and crew members for alleged airspace violation in Burkina Faso. It says following takeoff from Lagos, the crew of Nigerian Air Force C-130 aircraft during its ferry mission to Portugal on December 8, 2025, observed technical concern which necessitated a precautionary landing at Bobo-Dioulasso, Burkina Faso, the nearest airfield, in accordance with standard safety procedures and international aviation protocols. In a statement, the NAV Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ehimen Ejademe, the crew is safe and have received cordial treatment from the host authorities, while plans are ongoing to resume the mission as scheduled. NAV says it appreciates the support received during this period and assures the public that it remains professionally committed to strict compliance with operational procedures and safety standards, ensuring the protection of its personnel while fulfilling its constitutional mandate. You'll recall that there were growing speculations suggesting that 11 crew members on board that NAV C-130 have been detained and its aircraft grounded for violating Burkina Faso airspace, which necessitated this particular clarification by the Nigerian Air Force. And away from that, let's tell you also that the Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 presidential election, Mr. Peter Obi, is asking the federal government to apologize to the Ogoni people and the Niger Delta region for exposing them to environmental hazards due to oil exploration. He made a call at a book launch in Abuja and maintains that the people deserve compensation for decades of neglect by successive governments.
And when I listen to the resources and what he concluded and said, they are going to negotiate. What is the Ogoni people going to negotiate? The government should be thanking them for coming up with an idea that will turn around the place. You don't need to negotiate. You don't negotiate what you have. I've said it. It's not just Ogoni, the entire Niger Delta deserves apology for wasting their resources and wasting everybody's time. The entire country is rich. I'm not talking about just natural resources. We have it everywhere. Even those who don't have all it takes. We have empty land, all cultivated. Forget about what is underground.
All right, let's get to the conversation for today. River State is going to be our focus. Coincidentally, Mr. Peter Obi was talking about the Niger Delta. The Ogoni people, they are in a River State in Niger Delta. They occupy places like Kana, Gokana, Tai, and all of those areas. But we're going to talk a bit of politics because some things have been playing out in the last few days. Rivers is always an interesting place when it comes to politics. It looks like it never ends. Let's bring in my guest. He's the chairman of Obiakpo Local Government Area. Mr. Gift Worlu joins us virtually. Mr. Worlu, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
I was trying to string together some of the series of events for the audience. So we started off by seeing the resolution, which was greatly criticized. The House of Assembly got a few flags in public because doesn't person believe that the House of Assembly chambers, the hallowed chamber, whichever place they sit, is a hallowed chamber, not necessarily for politicking, it's for legislative business. But anyway, they went on and they endorsed the president. And within days, we saw 16 members defecting to the APC, 10 remaining in the PDP. And then now we are seeing local government councillors doing this endorsement. We also saw some movement before the election, the local government election that was a bit controversial as well, which brought you into office as well. We'll get to that in just a moment. But I'm reeling all of this background to say, for those of us who are onlookers, what exactly can you tell us is going on in Rivers State?
Thank you very much. First of all, you must appreciate the fact that Rivers State is the heartbeat of this country. And Rivers people, over the years, have clamored for what is their fair share of the cake of Nigeria. And we have seen governments come and go. We have seen leaders, presidents come and go. We have also had leaders in our state over the years who ordinarily speak for us and negotiate for us. But today, we are happy as a people that we have a leader who understands that all politics is local. And what that means is that for a people, Rivers people, for example, we must ask ourselves whether we are playing politics for the sake of playing politics, or we're playing politics to better our lives and give our people a sense of meaning and reason for them to live, whether we're improving their lives and their livelihoods. That's what is important. And we have in that leader the person of His Excellency, Nyesom Wike, a man who understands that all politics is local. It is what you are able to, at the end of the day, negotiate and get for your people, and how well you are bettering the lives of your people, how well you are changing their understanding of the world around them that matters. And he has led us so well to the center that today, the president of our country, who is also a leader with courage, with purpose, with vision, somebody who loves River State and has shown that much more than even people who are from this part of the world have been able to show. And today, we have a harvest of political appointments and projects coming from the President, His Excellency, Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, coming to River State. And we mentioned so many of them yesterday. And we decided that as a people, the only way, and we are doing this across party lines, we are doing this across ethnic colorations, to say that the only way we can thank the president for what he has done, believing that he will even do more for us, is to ask him to run. And if he runs, we will support him. So what we did yesterday was an endorsement of his candidature and person as the one who understands that power and leadership are not weapons. They are tools for moving the people from where they are to where they ought to be. That exactly is what the president is doing, and we're happy about it. He has taken some decisions that we are not too comfortable about as a people, but those decisions are fair, they are necessary, and they are sufficient if we are to make progress. I see what the president is doing in Nigeria today as what we do with our children. You know, when you wake your child up in the morning, you want to prepare him or her for school. The child will cry and try to resist you. But you will insist and make sure that he takes that cold or the hot bath and goes to school, knowing that the future of that child is more important.
If I may butt in, so basically the politicking has started. That's my reading. Although the argument as to whether the timetable for politicking has opened up, that is not open yet. But
politics never stops.
Yes, I understand. So the politicians don't. So what I'm saying in essence is that politicians sometimes don't obey the rules. They have a way to go around it. Maybe not breaking it, but they just go around it. Because INEC is very clear when politicking will start. But that's not my argument today. The issue around the leadership of the state, which has, for the last 3 years, there has been so many conundrum as far as politics of River State is concerned. And whatever it is that has been going on, good or bad, is not being highlighted. Rather, what is being highlighted is the crisis in River State. And that has to do with the face-off between the governor and his political godfather, Nyesom Wike, as you've mentioned. So where I'm going to with the question now is, for what has been going on so far, we haven't heard anything from the governor himself. Should we be worried about another brewing crisis? Because this is the way it started. We can almost see certain trends going on and certain nuances around this, because nobody wants to go through that conundrum yet again. Or this is just something we should relax about?
Yeah, I think you should relax, because the days of crisis have come and gone. That you have not heard from the governor, maybe because you have not made a move to reach the governor. And of course, I can tell you that our governor is very busy today, commissioning projects. He has lined up. Yesterday, I was in a meeting with the secretary to the state government, with other local government chairmen, after the exercise, the endorsement exercise. And we're talking about projects that we need to flag off and those that we need to commission within the next 1 week or two before the end of the year. And the governor, of course, you know, is working on the budget for next year, among other things. So if you want to reach the governor and get to hear his perspective on any of the issues or what is happening in the state generally, I think that's okay. But I can only speak for myself and for what I represent and what I subscribe to. Now, when people make statements about the possibility of another crisis, something brewing and all of that, and you ask questions about leadership and all of that. For me, I think it's neither here nor there. The point must be made. You already talked about a godfather. A godfather is a godfather. And because he's a godfather, you expect that all those who are under his tutelage and leadership will find a way to work with him. And that's how things work. We cannot all be leaders at the same time. We cannot all be godfathers at the same time. And godfatherism, I've told people who care to listen, is not a very bad thing. As a child, I was shown to somebody who was referred to as my godfather in the church. Somebody who maybe my parents saw that could serve as a role model for me. And I think I've also tried to identify with that fellow up until now. Now, the point is that a people must at some point identify somebody as their leader. And that leader is not somebody who is the oldest necessarily. May not be the richest, may not be the strongest. But somebody must be on top there, directing things and making sure that things work.
But Mr. Worlu, the conversation, my apologies for cutting in so I can get in as many questions as possible, is the concept of godfatherism in Rivers State. It's not unique to Rivers State, we must admit, that has caused all the problems that Rivers State has encountered in the last 3 years. This disagreement, which is why there's a lot of curiosity as to what is playing out as it is. The last time the members defected, they defected in whole. They backtracked, and then now they are defected in half. You're not sure what is playing out. The people who can read the room can read the room as far as this is concerned, which is why I'm asking that question curiously as to what is expected. So maybe I'll direct it this way. Do you think the governor is going to defect to the APC as well?
That decision is squarely the governor's to make. We don't have control over that. I'm still in the PDP. Like the governor. I was elected as chairman on the platform of the PDP. Yesterday we saw one of us, defect to the APC. And I want to believe that it's born out of a clear understanding of where he wants to go from where he is. And in politics, what matters are the critical decisions that you make. I used to be in the APC. I was one of those who started the APC. And then after some time, because of the way we were led in the APC Rivers State, I decided to leave. And today I think that decision, that singular decision that I made way back in 2020 has paid off. Today I'm chairman of council. And I'm trying my best to see how I can better the lives of my people. Last week we had an economic summit, and we had people come from all over the places to talk about the future of our local government and how to better the lives of our people. For me, that's what matters. If I didn't make that decision, I probably won't be where I am today.
Yeah, okay.
And I owe the thanks to our leader who has managed to keep a platform that even allows you to be able to move one way or the other. So,
Mr. Worlu, my apologies. Yeah, my apologies. I think your point is not. At some point I chuckled. I was smiling because Rivers State right now, it looks like it's a PD-APC situation. We don't even know who is where. It's like you are all the same in one way or the other, because it looks like the Minister of the FCT has influence on both the APC and the PDP. So we're seeing all of. Can you really say that there is a separation between APC and PDP in Rivers State in that sense? In all honesty, from where you say it?
Sometimes life is all about perspectives. When churches agree, for example, there's a church program organized by Redeemed Christian Church of God, like the Shiloh, for example, and they invite people from all over the places who may not be members of their church, and they gather to do what they do there. People don't frown because it's not politics. But when it is done in the political arena, it becomes an issue, and I don't know why.
No, Mr. Worlu, it has to be, my apologies, it has to be an issue, because that is why. The reason is because if it's not an issue, then we are not practicing what political parties should be. As a matter of fact, people like us don't even believe that there is a difference between APC, PDP, and the rest in terms of party politics. Just a moment, just a moment, just a moment, sir. Just a moment, sir. Just a moment, sir. Yes. Party, people can have their ideologies, and there's no time I would have explained what I mean. There is no political party ideology, because if there are ideologies, then what you're saying is not going to hold water.
No. See, get my point here now. Even when you have ideology, does it mean that people cannot come together who don't share the same ideology? The answer is no. Because in politics, we say that, I think it was an American statesman who said that America has no permanent interest. That what is or a permanent friend or enemy rather, that what is permanent is America's interest. So what is permanent for us as Rivers people today is the interest of Rivers State. So we don't have permanent enemies, we don't have permanent friends. We have permanent interest. And that permanent interest is protected by the kind of leadership, a leadership that is inclusive, a leadership that is progressive, a leadership that is people-centered, that His Excellency Ezenwoye Sowike is providing. And that is what is not only APC and PDP. All the other political parties somehow try to find a way to work together in the interest of the state. And if, as you can see, when it comes to the harvest that we are getting, the bounty harvest that we're getting politically, we don't discriminate along party lines.
All right, Mr. Worlu. Yeah.
Yes. APC people are getting things. Other people from other parties are also getting things.
Mr. Worlu, it's an interesting convo. Nobody is saying you should bring gun and fight each other, but I know you understand exactly where we're coming from. We hope that Nigeria will get to that point where there is a clear, where there's a clarity as to the way you guys play your politics. And we can even interrogate the issue of Rivers people as against Rivers people in that sense. But the most important thing that there's some level of relative peace, and we're happy about that. We want it to be sustained. That's why we're asking the questions we're asking. But let's come to, as we begin to wind down, your election was very controversial in a sense. I will tell you why it was a bit controversial. First, under the circumstance of an emergency rule, local government were held, is a subject of adjudication, whether the president even has the powers to constitutionally suspend elected officials. The Supreme Court has not ruled on that or given a judgment on that. But coming to the local government, if I stand to be corrected, I think you scored over 300,000 to emerge as chairman. Am I correct?
Yep.
How did that happen? How did you score 300,000 votes under the circumstance? Because I look at the result of, say, presidential election. APC took the state maybe over 200,000 votes, the entire state. Similarly, Fubara won the election as governor, maybe over 200,000, the entire state. And then a local government election, under that circumstance, which we know there's a lot of voter apathy, although they don't use beavers, which gives room for a lot of things. How did 300,000 votes come to you? Okay,
now, I started with a statement that all politics is local. I come from Obiapo local government area, but I come from the upper parts of Obiapo local government area. And those who know Obiapo very well will tell you that Obiapo can, in terms of population and even landmass, Obiapo can be a state of its own. Today we have more than a quarter of the population of the entire state and the voting strength of the entire state. Our voting strength is more than that of Bayelsa. Now, what happened is that since the creation of Obiapo local government area, nobody from my section, the upper section of Obiapo local government, has been elected chairman of Obiapo local government area. So when this opportunity came and the way that it came, and given my kind of person, somebody who has been out there in the public glare, clamoring for the interests of the Obiapo people, clamoring for the interests of Obiapo people, fighting for justice, democracy, and all whatnot. A lecturer in the university, as I then was, who has helped groom many people, who has helped touch lives in many ways. A business person, a philanthropist, if you like, a family man. When my name was mentioned, people trooped out. And in my area, it was like some kind of triumphal entry of Jesus Christ into Jerusalem. You know, people came out and said, oh, we have never seen this before. Let's embrace it. The day we went for the final campaign in my place, I wept. When I came out and saw the number of people, markets were shut down, schools were closed, because their own son, their own person, for the first time, was going to get this thing. That's what happened. And that translated to the results that you finally saw. You know, and I'm grateful to our people, and that's why every day I don't sleep very well these days, because I'm wondering how I'll be able to, you know, satisfy them, make them feel that they didn't waste their time in electing me. So what you saw was a clear reflection of the spirit of the time, you know, which we continue to enjoy. I don't know if you saw the economic summit that we had last week. The hall was filled to the brim. People are still.
All right, Mr. Worlu, we're totally out of time. We're totally out of time. I like the way you're defending it. I'm just curious about the number. Because whether it's presidential or governorship election, put together about 500,000. Your council, just a moment, sir.
It could have been more.
No, your election alone got over 300,000. I'm familiar with. I was born and bred in River State, so I know the place. I know Obiakpa. I know where you're from. I know all of those. I know that what people actually call Port Harcourt is actually mostly Obiakpa. So I know how big the area is. But the curiosity is to the number, given the circumstance. But nobody's going to take it away from you. You're already elected.
I thought you would be happy, because you complain about voter apathy, and then you finally see people come out and you are still complaining.
Because we don't have beavers. We don't have beavers. To be, you know, in local government elections, we don't have beavers.
The election that Abiola won, which was later annulled, was not done with beavers.
No, now we are using beavers. That's why we now have original records of election. But Mr. Gift Worlu, lecturer, politician, you wear many caps, so I will leave it at those two for now. I must thank you so much for coming on the program. We're going to have more engagement as far as Rivers politics is concerned, but let's leave it for now for where it is. Thank you so much for coming on the program. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you. All the best.
My pleasure always. Thank you. Have a nice day.
And that's it on the program. Thank you for your time and company. I'm Jeffrey Ozama. Bye-bye.